Hannon Stevens, Chris Engel, and Michael Strong. Welcome to Day 3 of the 2022 Liberation of Education Virtual Conference. We are all so pleased to be able to present an all-star lineup of over 35 expert speakers representing the very broad education field, providing parents and educators with need-to-know information and all sorts of alternatives to traditional education. All of us truly want to help all children thrive, and we are so thankful to be able to say we have people joining us from all over the United States and from 26 different countries. A quick disclaimer, this committee does not endorse all of the perspectives and solutions put forward, and we invite you to draw your own conclusions. We are pleased to provide this diverse marketplace of ideas from which you can choose those that align with your values and worldview. Ultimately, that is the value in the liberation of education approach. A little about our format. We want this to be interactive. Our speakers have each prepared to speak for approximately 20 minutes and to answer Q&A. We welcome your questions and commentary. Each session has a chat and Q&A box where you can submit your questions. Some of the sessions also allow us to bring you on stage so that you can engage directly with the presenter if time allows. We kindly ask that you please fill out the short survey at the end of each session. We want to know how we can better serve you. To take full advantage of this virtual conference, please update your bio and share a bit about yourself in our discussion boards, like why you're here and what you hope to take away. Connect with people who live in your state, visit with our exhibitors, and have a one-on-one conversation through our messaging function. We'd like to very graciously thank all of our sponsors, EdChoice, Learning Revolution, the Foundation for Economic Education, MECNet Inc., and the Socratic Experience, but especially our lead sponsor, the Focus Group. For 40 years, the Focus Group has provided campaign capital, strategic planning, and major donor development counsel to hundreds of organizations around the United States, from local churches and K-12 schools to national campus ministries and international relief organizations. Their mission is to build the kingdom of God by helping faith-based nonprofits raise all the funds needed to carry out their own missions. If you are ready to take your organization's fundraising to the next level, they'd love to connect with you. And now it is my pleasure to turn the floor over to my co-host, Michael Strong. But first, I'd like to say how incredibly grateful I am to have met Michael. His impact on my life and my children's is beyond what I can verbalize. I've had a lot of negative experiences in public education. I've also had some good ones. There are a lot of great people in the education system doing everything they can do to do what is best for our children. But the fact of the matter is, most follow the leader, and many more don't have the courage to go against the system and do what they know is best. Last March or April-ish, a series of events led me to make some big life decisions and set some big life goals, one of which was to drain the education system, starting with my own children. And for the second time, I was going to try my hand at homeschooling, this time with all 3 kids. And since the first try with just one kid did not go very well, this decision was very scary and very overwhelming. I am not a very good teacher. I prefer not to be with my kids 24/7, and my work life is never ending. But I knew without a doubt that I had to get my kids out of the public education system for many of the reasons Michael stated yesterday during his opening remarks. Meeting Michael was truly a gift from God. He supported me, provided me with valuable information to empower me and help me feel okay with where my children were and the decisions I was making for them. Because of his friendship and mentorship, I've had the confidence and courage to go against society's arbitrary norms, and my children have grown so much over the past year because of it. With that, I am very proud to introduce Liberation of Education co-founder Michael Strong. Michael is an expert in education. He is one of the most experienced creators of small, innovative, high-performance schools in the world. Michael is the founder of the Socratic Experience, a virtual school for children ages 3 through 12, which I highly recommend. And so with that, Michael, good evening, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Lacey, for that beautiful introduction. I'm delighted to be working with you, as well as Chris and Kanan and the rest of our amazing team. Before introducing our guests for this evening, and I'm really excited about our lineup again this evening, I want to kind of keep going on the theme of happiness and well-being. Last night, I talked about the misery of schooling that so many experience. Again, pre-COVID numbers, 75% of high school students unhappy in school, 2/3 disengaged, 37% seriously depressed or anxious, 19% suicidal. All of those numbers have gone up since COVID. Adolescence is a catastrophe. But I want to go to the positive side. As we provide more options for children that help them maintain their confidence, maintain their love of learning, maintain their love of life, I believe we'll have a happier society. I think a lot of the misery of adult society is due to the teenage misery, sometimes the childhood misery that so many of us experience unnecessarily. When I find people, later I'll have the pleasure of talking with Lacey, as well as Mikkel Thorup, another guest, who did not themselves have great experiences in school, but have gone on to become successful adult professionals. I think how many other young people who could have had fabulous careers been somehow repressed or damaged in schooling. So if we can liberate education and liberate young people, millions of young people, I think the subsequent generations will be happier, more productive, more successful, kinder, and more thoughtful. So I see the liberation of education as a microcosm of the liberation of love, humanity, and well-being. So I could go on and on. I think we're on our way to building a much more beautiful world. And with that, let me introduce our lineup for this evening. First, Virginia Walden Ford. There are very few people where I get all excited to have met them. Most celebrities, yawn, famous person, whatever. I've known Nobel laureates. I've met presidents and ministers of state from around the world. Famous person. Virginia Walden Ford, we're talking serious, cool person. She was the founder of the DC Choice Scholarship Program. She was a mom who saw her child in trouble in school, not doing well, being recruited by gangs, and she fought hard and long to help create a choice program in the DC area that has since gone on to give hundreds, probably thousands of students a better life. And she's absolutely one of those people they ought to make a film on. And voila, they made a film on her. Miss Virginia, it is the best school choice film. Lacey and I were talking before we got on. We both laughed and cried throughout the film. It's one of the most moving films you can see. So not only must you watch Miss Virginia, but you must listen to Virginia Walden Ford and hear the real human being who actually achieved these great things. And she's just the most heartfelt, authentic, decent human being I know of. And so I'm excited to hear her speak. After that, we have breakouts with Kathy Broadbent, head of learning of Prinda, coming back. She was briefly on a microschool panel last night. Now she has a whole breakout this evening. Prinda is one of the most exciting microschool projects. I think it's the largest and fastest growing microschool project. They help parents create little micro schools in their homes with 5 to 10 children at a time, and it's very agency centric. So we'll have Kathy talking a lot more about how microschooling is empowering parents and children. We'll have Laren May, Director of Advocacy at Step Up for Students, a leading organization promoting school choice in Florida. And she is going to help us on grassroots mobilization, not just for Florida, but anywhere. If you want to get parents in your community to become active on promoting policies that will give your children and the other children more choice, please do. Please join Lauren May's section. We also have Marcia Familiario Inright of Great Connections, and she will be speaking on nurturing the young spirit. Great Connections is a program that provides seminars for high school and college students. They also have seminars for working and retired adults using classic and modern texts. And that's a model that will designed to make connections in human minds of human beings. A Socratic learning that's a cousin to the kind of thing I do. Then we have as our next keynote, Mikkel Thorup of the Expat International School. He's speaking on from high school dropout to millionaire. So he'll talk about his authentic story where, as I mentioned last night, he was a special, learning differences, special needs child and was miserable in school, bullied, despite being put in special programs that are supposed to help. He left from high school without going to high school, essentially. He sometimes says he left essentially in middle school, and now he's as an entrepreneur with multi-million-dollar businesses. He's arguably the leading expert in helping expats relocate around the world. And he's a great real-world story of how someone can schooling. We then have in our next breakout session, Lindsay Hoyt of Cornerstone Classical Academy, what it's really like to start a charter school. Really a challenging project, but charter schools in many ways, because you have access to government funds, are, because of the funding, sometimes easier than private schools. But in any case, any of you who are interested in starting a charter school, Lindsay can give you upfront, close, real-world experience on what it's like and how to do it. And I encourage anyone who wants to start a charter school to attend that session. We also have a panel mentioned briefly earlier where I'll be talking with Mikkel and Lacey about their own experiences. And Lacey has her own really fascinating story. She's another great entrepreneur who did not, where school was not a good fit for her, and yet she's gone on to have a great professional life. And so again, I think
Did everyone lose Michael or just me? Okay. Well, I don't even know where he left off at. So let's see. Let's go to these sessions and see what was the last one we left off on. It was, I think, Mikkel and I. So the next one is going to be Lauren May, the grassroots workshop. And then there is who has it, who wants it, and what is it? What does the data show? Drew Cat. That's at 9:15 to 9:30. And then we have our closing statement right after that at 9:15 to 9:30. So we covered most of them. We're good. So do we want to take a break and then meet in the next session? Or does anyone have any questions, comments? No? None? Well, there's 56 seconds left, so let's hop off and meet in the next session. Thanks, guys.